Hello YouTube, Xisuma here with another episode of Xisuma's World. So I've been reading the comments on the previous video and I've got tons of ideas right now. So I want to start off by talking about them and then hopefully we'll be able to do all these different things within this episode. So first of all I've come down to the mushroom part that we're doing here, and what I want to do is separate the mushrooms out of the water, and I realised there's a really easy way of doing this. And we can put a sign underneath the water or an open fence gate, and then the mushrooms are going to drop through, the mushrooms are going to drop down and the mushrooms should glide straight across. Although when they're jumping around like that they might actually be able to push themselves down. Wait a minute, so the guy who gave me that idea said that we should use glass panes, and if we can get glass panes to go across, which I think iron bars might do because it won't connect with the glass, then the mushrooms will drop down on the front and then there'll be no way for the mob to go down as well. So that might work if the sign thing doesn't work. So yeah, that'll separate the mushrooms, and then they're going to go into a lava cooker, and we're going to use Codecrafted's way of doing that, which is slightly better than the one that I made. In fact, they helped me with that and then they came up with a better one themselves as well. And I also want to redesign this a little bit. I want to make it larger because I'm going to put more cells up on the animal breeding machine in the future, and we're going to have a lot more mushrooms down here at once, so we need room for all of those as well. Okay, we're down at the strip mine and I know what I want to do with this place now. But first of all, some people have been telling me that it's not called a strip mine and that it could be called a branch mine, so just wanted to clear that up. But either way, I know what I want to do with the place, and I decided I want to do it the way I did it on the Geomine server, which I used to play on before I started up the channel. And basically we built this strip mine and I just used one tunnel and kept going for as far as I could, and every so often you'd come to a caving system and then I would jump out of the strip mine or the mine shaft, whatever you want to call it, and I'd go light up the caving system and explore that, and I used to get an absolute ton of resources doing it that way. So I think that's the way I want to do it on this one, and what we're going to do is find out where the lava lake level is. We're going to build our branches or our mines above that level, and then we're going to have them going around the whole of the farm. Well, eventually we'll get all the way around, but they're going to be spaced out about 10 blocks or 12 blocks between each one, and that way we should find all of the different veins of ores and also find caving systems and then go light them up as well. And yeah, I think that's going to work pretty well. And then with these pillars we're going to have like a feature in the middle here where we're going to have chests for storing cobblestone and useful resources. And I thought I'd also put an enchanting table, a mini tree farm, so there's always a supply of wood, an infinite water pool, and basically stuff that allows us to get all of the important resources when we're going to go mining, and that includes food as well. So maybe a melon farm or a small wheat farm, and I could build one of those in each of our 3 corners because the 4th one's taken over by the slime reducer. And then that way I think it would be pretty simple to build it going the whole way around, because it wouldn't be such as a labour intensive task as doing what I was going to do before, which would have been basically mining out every single block there was. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to do that a bit later in the episode. Okay, while I'm on my way back to Atlantis, I wanted to talk about one of the other things we mentioned in the last video, which is how to pay tribute to those people that donate. And there was a really great suggestion in the comment box. In fact, there was a lot of really nice ideas being suggested, and there was one that I thought was really great, which was to build people houses in the villages. And there's an NPC village not too far from Atlantis, and I could go over there and I could build new houses for all the people that donate. And the cool idea that I thought was just great was that they could pick what style of house they want, because the villages are naturally generated with different types. So someone could request to have I don't know, like there's a church looking building, a farming building, and yeah, we can do it like that. So whoever donates can just pick a building that they want, and yeah, we can expand an NPC village, and then iron golems will start spawning and there'll be zombie sieges, so that could be a lot of fun as well. with all of the talking out of the way, we can continue work on this now. So I want to start off by separating the mushrooms, and I placed down a glass pane and it done the exact same thing that these iron bars have done, and it's connected to the glass block, which is what we didn't want, because then the mushrooms that land in the middle are just going to flow straight across. So I started thinking about what other blocks we could use, and earlier I said fence gates, and I was originally planning on having them open, but if we place them at this angle here, they'll be placed down in a way that they'll go across like that. That means the mushrooms will go over the top and the mushrooms will fall down the front. So I want to test it first, and I'm just trying to think of a way that I could actually place it and yeah, test that it will work. Okay, it just happened again. These mushrooms seem to love this animal breeding machine. It's like they want cells or something, because... Oh, what are you doing now? You're going to go down there, are you? Okay, anyway. They got out while I was placing the fence gate, and what's the first thing they did? They headed outside and straight towards the animal breeding machine. So I had to get the wheat and lure them back down, but that one guy, he managed to get back up there. So yeah, I'm going to try and get them all back in here now. Okay, I finally got all of them but one in, so we're going to test it on these 5. So we come up here, and chances are when we shear them, because we're standing right next to it, we might be able to pick up. Actually, it appears like maybe not. Okay. So I thought there'd be the odd chance that you'd actually pick them up by standing here. But there we go, you saw the last couple drop down, and that's how we're going to do it. Okay, it just occurred to me as well that we can kill them here as well. And if we ever get a looting sword, it might be a good idea. Say we're in desperate need for lots of food, then rather than using the cooker, we could also use a looting sword and get our food that way. Okay, so I was expanding the shearing bay before the lava cooker, and yeah, I came into a mine shaft, and there's an absolute ton of mobs just all condensed into this little block here, and now I've broken my sword. I've already killed about 5 or 6, and I can hear there's a lot more mobs around here as well, and a chest, but I'm thinking there might be a mob spawn around here, because yeah, you can see at least another 2 or 3 creepers there. It's really strange how they're all in the same block like that, but yeah, I'm just going to make a sword and then go back and explore that a little bit more. Okay, so that adventure ended pretty quickly. I let one of the creepers blow up to make it easier, and it turns out I've already explored down there, and then I finished up lighting around here, and yeah, that was pretty much it, and the chest didn't really have anything of too much value. I didn't plan on showing you this just yet, but I've run into a little bit of an idea that I want to talk about. So what I've done here is I've used signs to stop the water and then start it down here, and it flows out 7 blocks, then we have another sign and it does the same thing again, and then this time the water's going to flow around the corner and it's going to go over the fence gate so we can collect our mushrooms, and then it's going to go into the lava cooker. And there'll be some sort of piston door here as well to stop the mushrooms getting around the corner. And then I got to this bit here to, as you see, I made a little staircase to collect the mushrooms, and then I had an idea. So if the floor was like that, I was thinking that the mushrooms are going to fall onto this block here. Then with a piston we could push them out, and then they would be on this block here. And then with a double extending piston down there, we could push them all the way up to the surface like this. So what we could essentially have is a little hole, because this would normally be like that, and we'd put something up here like a glass pane maybe, or something to stop the player from falling into the hole, and then at a press of a button we could extend the pistons up and get all the mushrooms on the surface, so we could just walk up to them and pick them up. And I think I'm going to build that now actually. Started work on the redstone wiring, and what we have here is C&B Minecraft's double extending piston. So it pushes up that block twice and then it pulls it back down again, and then we have another sticky piston back here which is going to control that other block that we need to extend. So now that I've done that, I've created the interface, so then we can figure out how to wire this thing. And if we're standing at this level, when the blocks push up twice, all the mushrooms will be pushed up here, and then we'll be able to pick them all up by standing here. So I put the button there, although it kind of looks a bit silly like that, So I might put it one higher, but just thinking about it, our glass blocks are going to be like that. So if we have another block with a button on above, it's probably going to have the same thing where half of it will be cut off from view. So anyway, my point is that that's what we're going to press, and then the wire is going to be behind it, and it's going to lead all the way down. So the wire is going to lead down, and then it's going to push out that block there, and I might create a pulse lengthener or something along those lines. But as soon as that one's activated, the mushrooms are then going to be on this block here, and then it doesn't matter if that one retracts early because the mushrooms will stay on this. So the pulse will then, after activating that one, it will go around to the double extending pistons, and then it will push these blocks up twice. And if we've used a pulse lengthener, then it should act like this. So the pulse comes through, and then the pulse dies, and that should give us enough time to collect the mushrooms. Okay, I am really pleased. Let's press the button. Okay, now that should work. So it'd be a good idea to test it as well. Oops. There we go. Let's throw quite a few down there, and then press the button. Lovely. Okay, so a quick explanation of how this works. This redstone wire goes down here, and then it splits off at this point using this torch, so we've inverted the signal. Then when this wire gets powered, the block gets powered and the torch turns off. So this goes round into this block which is powering, so it turns off that torch, and then above that block which the torch is powering, there's the sticky piston. Now this bit here is a pulse lengthener, so when this wire is powered, the block is powered, and then the repeater transfers that power into this block, and when this block's powered, because it's powered by a repeater, it can power the wire adjacent to it. So as soon as that receives power, this pulse is turned on, then the current from that block goes through these two repeaters, and the same thing happens here. This block will be powering this wire. So that's how the pulse is lengthened, because of these two repeaters here, and then that goes all the way around to an inverter, which then goes into this block here which controls the double extending piston. I've now finished hiding all the wiring, and yeah, this looks really nice now. So if you notice that block in the corner is extended, it's because we have this piston back here, and we're going to use that to control the mushrooms coming through, and then they're going to go into the lava cooker. Now I was going to put it right here, but then I remembered that we need to drop the mobs into the lava cooker so that they form a group on the one block. So what I'm going to do here is build a little mini elevator that's going to go up and then drop them down the other side into the lava cooker. So everything seems to be going well with the elevator, and then I realised something. The lava block is going to be where this block is here, and this one's going to be pulled down so the lava can extend into it, and then it gets pushed back up and all our mobs are on fire, and then they're going to burn and drop cooked meat. So the thing is that the wood's going to catch on fire, and I spent ages thinking about this, and it turned out the solution was really simple, because I was thinking about ripping out all of the wood and replacing it with nether brick or something like that, and then I remembered that we can use half slabs, and if we place two wooden slabs on top of each other, they'll look exactly the same and they won't be able to catch on fire. So I'm going to replace them for probably all the way to about over here, just to be extra safe, but I think people have said that the distance is only 3 or 4 blocks, so hopefully that'll work. I'm also hoping the signs don't catch on fire. I think I've seen them go on fire before, but I'm not sure if they get destroyed or not, so I guess we'll have to find that out the hard way. The lava cooker is pretty much complete now, and I just want to show you this. If we walk up here, we are standing directly between the two animal breeding machines. We've only built one so far, and this means that we can have all of this that we have on the left side on the right side as well, because the lava cooker is directly in the middle, and that means we'll have another water elevator on this side, and both mobs will be able to drop into the same cooker, which is really nice. So the way this works is the mobs are going to land on this block here, then we're going to press the button and they're going to fall down, then the lava extends and sets them on fire, then the block pushes them back up and they burn to death, and then we can collect their cooked meat by walking up into the corner here. And this is based on Codecrafted's improvement to the lava cooker tutorial that you saw on my channel, and that was also made with their help as well. And I didn't watch the whole tutorial, I just looked at the concept, so the chances are that we could have the same pulse extender here. But yeah, this is really simple, although it probably look a little bit complicated at the moment. So this is the redstone wire that gets powered by the buttons, and then it goes all the way down here, and then it powers that block there. So this block's here to stop the wires connecting, this one and this one here. So when this block receives power, it's going to pass it through the repeaters one by one into the next block, and that's why we have this wire on top here and these blocks to stop the to stop the redstone wires connecting. And this wire will pass the signal into the next block, and then the repeaters are now facing this way, and they'll go all the way to over here. And the whole time that they're doing that, they're going to be powering this wire because it's next to the block, so it gets power from it. And that's how we keep the pulse and make it longer. Sorry, keep the power and make the pulse longer. So if we press it, we'll have a look at it in action. Do that once more in case you didn't quite catch it. And there you go, that's the lava cooker. So I started breeding some animals and I wanted to test this thing out, and I remembered I forgot about something. We've got this block in the corner here which stops the animals from going around the corner. So back here we have a lever controlling a sticky piston, and I totally forgot about this, and now we need to wire this up to somewhere. Now I have considered making it part of one of these buttons, probably not this one, but say we press this and then that retracts for a certain amount of time, gives enough time for all the mushrooms to make their way into the cooker, and then it activates the cooker. But I would rather control it manually, so I need to find a place to put the lever for that, and I don't really have any ideas at the moment. Although I could put a hole here and put a lever on the wall there, and I think that's actually what I might do. Okay, I've hooked this up to the piston and I've removed the lever that was controlling that, so it should work. I don't want to test it because we want to wait until these have grown up into adults, and then we're going to test the machine fully. We're going to shear them so we can test that this works, and then we're going to cook them in the lava cooker. So what I want to do while I'm waiting for them to grow up is start work on the wheat farm, but as well as that I also want to get some of the new building materials. So I'm going to go and look for some birch wood so we can get some of that nice new wooden planks, and maybe I'll use that in here. Okay, I've just made my way back to the base, and I noticed that this mushroom isn't on the pad rail at the side like it was before. And bear in mind I've been using this for quite some time and rotating them around now, so it could have fixed itself, but that's interesting anyway. So I just done a test in here and it was a complete disaster. I did record it all, but it was just a bit of a nightmare, so I thought I'd explain to you the problems that we have with this. So first of all, when we have loads of mushrooms in here, they actually kind of push each other all down to this end naturally because the water's making them move this way. And what happens is a load of them group up in the corner here, which is something that we don't actually want. And then the second problem that I had, as you can see there, is that when we shear all of the mushrooms, they land on the dead spots, and that's kind of a silly one. I should have noticed that earlier. But it does work when they're in the corner here. The mushrooms flow around the corner, they drop down here, and then we can press the button and get our mushrooms. So as well as that, we also had a problem with this motivator here. The way I made it before, they just hang around in this block here because I didn't have the water source block above it, and they didn't continue going upwards, which is how I thought it used to work. So something's changed there, and I use this for now, and when there's lots of them pushing each other in this way, then they do go up there, but the last one tends to not get pushed by anything, so it sort of sits halfway between and doesn't go up the top. And the other problem we had is that that sign was on this block here before, so the water came all the way across and the mobs didn't drop down. So I fixed that, and I tested the lava cooker and that works fine. So the real problem we have here is sorting out the motivator so that it works properly. I'm not too sure how to do that, so I'm going to do a little bit of research and we'll come back to this at another time. And the other problem is with the water streams, and I don't really have too much of a solution at the moment for the mushroom thing, but I do have an idea of using pistons on the back wall, and when they retract the water comes out and then flows after that. But yeah, we're going to move on from this and leave this for now. We're going to head over to the strip mine and work on that. So based on episode time, I figured that we'd end this one a little bit short, and next episode we'll go start work on the strip mine. But what I want to do is figure out how to fix this. Now I've just placed it like this as a temporary measure, and what I did try before was removing this sign block here, placing it on this block and putting the water source block here, and I was hoping that it would flow from this block to this block, and then that would mean that the mushroom that rises up here would get pushed across, then it would go up again. And the way the animation was is it was flowing down like it is now, and I think that I just didn't understand what that meant, because I think the water is actually flowing that way as well. So if this works, then it should work with this sign placed one back over here, which I think will look a little bit neater, because it means that we can separate the lava cooker again here by having the blocks there. So let's check it out, see if it works. Okay, so the jumping makes them resist the water a lot, which is kind of annoying. I guess we could speed this up with some wheat. Okay, and that did look like the water was pushing them over then, so I could probably try it the other way as well. Okay, so now we're going to try it with the alternative method that I mentioned a while ago. I thought it didn't work because I thought that this water wasn't flowing that way, but I guess we're about to find out. And again, we could use wheat, I think, to lure them across a bit. That'll do, we've got two of them here. Okay, so no, that way doesn't work, as you could see there. The mushroom was trying to go that way and the water wasn't pushing it back. So I still want to keep this look that we have here, so I'm going to need to find another way to make that motivator. Well, I'm a little bit disappointed with this episode, because all of this was going so well, and then I just overlooked a couple of silly mistakes I've made, and yeah, it means we've got to do a lot of work to get this working again. But I guess that's Minecraft really, you learn as you go. So next episode we're going to be working on the strip mine, and I know exactly what I want to do with that now. So we'll come back here after that. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.